AM 1380 WLRM, Blue Southern Soul and more. Just Talk to Me with Greg Peters, and we have a special interview today. Me and Kia Robinson, we're interviewing today on the show a wonderful lady. Her name is Nash, and she is a mental health therapist, also an author too. Welcome to the show, Miss Nash.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to talk to you.
Yeah,
We're excited to talk to you. So do we call you CN or do we call you Nicole? What do you want us to call you?
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, her name is CN, so just not to confuse, I usually just say CN, but yes, my birth name is Nicole, so it's whatever fancy, but it's okay.
Can we say Dr. Nash? Dr. Nash.
Oh, I like that. That sounds nice. But Greg, we can't say Nikki. Remember we talked about folks saying Nikki. They're a bunch of trouble. Everybody we've ever known named Nikki. We talked about that one time. We
Yes.
can't call it Nikki. Yes, we will say that. We will say Dr. Nash. Funny. That's my alter ego. I say Nikki Nash. That's my alter. Girl, Nikki's something else, ain't she? We know about Nikki.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she is.
So tell us, Ian. You wrote this amazing book. I have the book, Mirroring Effect, and it was so. I want to talk about it. I want to tell about it, but I'm scared I'm going to tell too much. It was more than what I thought it was going to be. I was so scared. I was like, oh no, I'm going to read a book and it's going to bring me down, but it didn't. It was exciting and it was well written, and I couldn't put it down, and I didn't sleep on Monday night. Okay, go ahead. Tell us about the book. First off, thank you so much. We're just shy, we're shy to talk about mental health. And so one thing, it's just been my experience to bring people on board. I always made it light sessions, because we're here for a reason, but it doesn't have to always be the down and depressing and just, there's actually an upside and a sunny and a positive side about embracing your world. One thing I wanted to make sure is that, one, I was transparent. I wanted to deal with really, serious issues in the book. But at the same time, it's life, so with this particular character, Desi, she's a teenager. So she's going to have her teenage stuff going on, which is really hilarious, So I wanted you to know that, that life is not, even when you are dealing with things, life is not just daunting, that it's just normal. It's just a normal part of it, and it's just how you deal with it.
Well, sometimes,
Exactly.
when we think about, mental health, and especially dealing with mental health in the black community, we kind of shy away from that a lot of times. Say, oh, no, that's a shrink. I'm not crazy. But what a lot of people understand, and even in the African-American community, that if you give in and you just relax and receive therapy, it makes you a better person. It makes you to be able to understand whatever situation is that you're going through, whether it's depression or grief or personal problems, and I think it's wonderful. And I think if more people did it, we probably wouldn't have some of the problems that we have, with people committing suicide, with people trying to hurt other people.
You're right, Greg. We got to lose that stigma. We have to lose the stigma. You're right. As black people, we don't like to talk about those issues. We don't want to have to go to therapy. And yes, and I think that's one good thing that was about the book. Is we dealt with the main character.
Mm-hmm.
Her sister died. Her sister had a suicide, and how the main character, dealt with that. And at the same time,
Yes.
this person, this sister who she thought was so perfect and glamorous and wonderful and so smart and had everything to live for, something happened that made her want to kill herself. And just all those things are just so deep. And I don't know, I just love the way you deal with that, the grief, the depression, but then the counseling aspect too. And you added a little kind of like mystery to it. Yeah. And that's, you both bring up the good points, and that's the biggest thing. We don't like to talk about it. And the thing is, we can, by not talking about it, we let it persist. The best way to really combat any type of struggle and this battle in life, whether it doesn't even just have to be depression, it can be like coworkers, it can be with your students, or kids, it can be whatever in your life. If you do not address it, it doesn't go away. You want to talk about it. So that's the biggest thing. But I want it to be comfortable for us. We have to, I just believe in meeting people where they're at. So, we can shoot the breeze all day long, as long as it makes you comfortable and as long as you trust enough in, like, even in the process of therapy and counseling. It's just really, I'm not necessarily an expert. I'm just a guide. I'm just there with you in that moment, and if we all look at, even counseling as just a type of support, and there's something that everybody needs, and if we just really look at it as a sense of support and help, maybe I'm hoping that stigma of I'm crazy or, there's something wrong with that, maybe that would just, go away because we're willing to say, hey, you know what, I don't have my life together right now. I'm a hot mess right now, but that's okay. At least I can get help. At least I can. He's talking about me right now. Yes.
I know that's right.
And Greg, too. He's a hot mess.
That's right. I'm a hot mess.
Embrace embrace it. But I have a question about the book. Tell me, okay, so do you think that Desi's obsession, with Demi's true life, trying to get to the bottom of it, does that limit her or keep her from going through the grieving process, or was that healthy? Do you think that was something she needed to go through, or did it hold the process up?
For Desi, I would say in general, everybody's different. For Desi in particular, in this book, she had to. Unfortunately, when we're dealing with grief, a lot of times it's because it's a control thing. When we're dealing with a death or something, it shakes us up. No one really predicts a death. And so what we know to be true no longer exists. So not only did she have to deal with, wait a minute, my sister's no longer here. That's surprise number one. But two, the sister I thought I knew, that's not that. So she had to deal with it. And with her, it was a struggle. And so her grasping, she had to go through that particular journey. Sometimes for some people, they got to go through it. They can't. She had therapy, and Dr. Neal was trying to say, hey, give little hints there. But for some people, we have to go through it, and that's fine. Whatever it takes, I think, to get to that stage of acceptance, so be it. She had to learn, so in the process, she even made some mistakes. But what she decided to do with that is completely different, we'll see, than what her sister decided to handle the situations when her sister was faced with life.
I like how you go through the 5 stages of grief. I remember learning that, Kubler-Ross's stages of grief, and kind of go through denial, anger, bargaining. Now, everybody doesn't go through all those stages, right? They don't always go through them in that order, correct?
They don't always go through in that order. That's very correct. Now, we do progress through each stage. It may be you also progress through stages at multiple stages at the same time. So don't think of it as like a staircase where I have to get to one to get to the other.
Oh, okay.
Think of it as a cycle. And sometimes you jump in from one, and sometimes your feet are, I would say, in 2 different places. But it's whatever in order to get to, the hope is to get to acceptance.
Does anybody ever go from, like, oh, he died, boom, to acceptance? From 0 to acceptance? Does that ever happen? Like, okay.
I never, in my experience, and I want to meet that person, because I'm like, you got to teach me some things.
Right. There's no anger, no depression. Just, okay, he died, moving on. Yeah, okay.
Right. It's never been, but what I can say from experience that when we incorporate a level of spirituality has helped in having other coping skills as well, and having that support system. Those 3 things has been shown to actually help. Where you still are progressing through the stages, it's just not intense. As Desi would say, the volume of the emotions aren't as turned up. They aren't blaring and loud, but they're still, so you can't offset, the intensity and the emotions with coping skills and with, plugging into things like spirituality or hobbies. But it's been my experience that, yes, and even from personal experience, reliving, a lot of stages.
What made you write the book? I mean, because you are a licensed mental health therapist, and I know you could have written on a lot of things. What made you tackle this particular subject?
I get that question asked a lot, and the funny thing is because it actually started, I was in grad school, and I was sitting in the meeting, and I remember looking up, and I was like, are we in high school? Like, what's going on here? And I'm like, clearly an adult. So it started out with something like, I kind of want to address that even as an adult, you're still dealing with issues that you may find as a teenager. So I wanted to tackle that, but then I personally started experiencing grief as well, and I wanted to get that out there because I knew I wasn't alone. But 2, I had clients also, and I knew that this would be something that they would benefit. And it's been my experience that a lot of times people, while they would shy away from mental health, they love reading. I love reading. It's a great pastime, but no one wants to pick up like I would say a nonfiction book, even though they're helpful and they can give some information. Sometimes you just kind of want to sit back and not think about the day. You want to sink into a good book. So I wanted to get a story where, they're still enjoying the book and they're still enjoying. It's not like this hard read, but at the same time, when you close that book, you're walking away with some nuggets of information and wisdom.
So was writing it cathartic for you? Did it help you move through some issues, some, issues out there?
Yes. It helps, I say it was just a blessing to write the book because I love my book, and I don't say it because I wrote the book. It really,
a totally unbiased opinion. Tell us about.
Completely unbiased. Because I will go back and read it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it helped during certain moments. And so it was very, I would say it was pure catharsis. It was a way, writing in journal has always been my way to express. It's a great coping skill, but that's my coping skill, is I like to write. And so to get out all of the things in my head and all of the emotions, to put it on paper and actually say, oh, this makes sense. And to tell it in a way, too, that is not all depressing, but this is like true life. It was a nice release for me.
Well, awesome. So what's next for you? What else can be coming down the line from C.N. Nash? What can we expect?
Well, you know what? I really want to empower. I'm really about empowerment. My biggest thing is embracing. So just speaking, doing some speaking engagements, really connecting to the girls. My background is I've dealt with adults, I deal with families. My passion is always young kids, especially young girls. Just because, we're women, but also I have to think about it, even a woman, she was a girl at one point. And so if I can get that education in as early as possible, maybe we wouldn't have to deal with, half the things we're dealing with. So really trying to just focus on empowering our young girls and letting them see, embracing who they are and learning their identity. But also I do have a sequel. Yes, I couldn't end it on that note. There's so many other things I needed to address from that book. So I am really, as we speak, writing the sequel to Mirror and Effect.
And you're still practicing? Are you practicing in Memphis?
I volunteer through my church. So I do spiritual counseling, and I still get my feel from volunteering there.
Well, that is awesome. Greg, you have any more questions?
Well, yeah, I've just been enjoying the interview. In ending it, I just want to say that mental health is something that, of course, we can't take it lightly, but at the same time, we can ease it into our lives, and whoever the person is and they're going through whatever it is that they're going through in their life, if they just give in, if anybody out there listening, if you just give in and try it, you'll really, see how better a person that it will make you.
It helps. Counseling
it really does
help.
And I'm not going to say it from, just to make it sound good on the radio, but I myself have been a student, not only a student, but a patient of mental counseling. And hey, it has made me a better person. I'm still crazy though, but it still made me a better person.
I was about to say, yeah.
That is that's so powerful, and I consider you a leader to say, hey, everybody should have therapists, okay? So you're not alone, and just embrace. In fact, springtime, I always want to put that out there. Springtime is actually with the highest rate of suicide.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it would be like Christmas. That's
what everybody thinks. Yes.
Right.
We're coming out of winter, and now we have a showing that we have a boost of energy now that the people who have been contemplating suicide, now they have actually the energy to go ahead and complete it. And now they're so worn out by the end of the season that they really are. So as bright and sunny as it is right now, seek out that support, whatever way possible. Definitely counseling is but seek out that support and just know that you are not alone.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, on the show today, I tell you what, Kia, thank you so much. And as well as we like to thank Dr. Nash for being on the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, C.N. Nash, she is an author as well as a mental health therapist on the show today. And before we end the interview, where can people get your book?
Barnes & Noble, pretty much any bookstore you can go to, you can order it. Barnes & Noble, you can go online at Amazon as well. But definitely, if you're in the Memphis area, head to your nearest Barnes & Noble and pick up a copy or two.
Fantastic.
Mirroring.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, ladies. We'll be right back on Talk to Me with Greg Peters on AM 1380 WLRM.